This might be painful for them Republicans out there. I, like Gerald Celente, am a political atheist. I don't subscribe to either belief system. Democrat, Republican, the donkey, the elephant, nonsense. Remember the name Paul Ryan? Maybe he and being vice president will get them to beat Obama. The Republicans can win. Yeah, he's the greatest guy. He was out doing his job. Man, who didn't want them to win? Man, we weren't everybody psyched up. Paul Ryan, man, he might take the speaker position now. Speaker of the House, yes. We'll get something done, yes. Oh, really? Oh, really? Are we that sure? Thanks again to Silver Doctors. Paul Ryan hires lobbyists who pushed for Obamacare and the Trans-Pacific Partnership trading deal that threw more American jobs overseas as his chief of staff. Whoa. No one should be surprised that the useless cadre of Republicans and Democrats, I'll add that one, in the House of Representatives are about to make Paul Ryan Speaker. There's no question now. The transition from John Boehner should be flawless. Hey, everybody meet the new boss. Same as the old boss. Paul Ryan has a terrible record as a congressman, believe it or not. I can't for the life of me understand how anyone can support a guy who's been wrong on so many important issues, such as voting for the Iraq War and the banker bailouts, just to name a few. Which is why no one should be surprised that the useless cadre of Republicans in the House of Representatives are about to make him Speaker. The transition from John Boehner should be flawless. Of course, Mr. Ryan is already showing his true colors by naming veteran David Hope as his chief of staff. Mr. Hope has been quite busy over the past few years lobbying for debacles such as Obamacare and the Obama Trade, or TPP. This should leave no doubt as to who this guy actually works for. Who does number 2 work for? Hint, not the American people. From The Intercept. Representative Paul Ryan, Republican, Wisconsin. The Washington Post reports is preparing to hire David Hope, a veteran lobbyist, to manage his office. Should Ryan be elected House Speaker this week, as is widely expected. While Ryan cited Hope's passionate commitment to conservative principles. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, is this The Onion? Hold on. Where did he get this article? Is this The Onion playing a joke? While Ryan cited Hope's passionate commitment to conservative principles as the reason for selecting him as chief of staff, Hope has a long history of helping clients advance policy issues considered anathema by grassroots conservatives or grassroots conservative activists. And in some cases, Hope, or is it Hop? I like to call him Hope. It's Hoppe. I'm going to call him Hope because he's an expert at smoking or getting the sheeple to smoke hopium. And that is, I hope things will get better. I hope my vote actually counts. I hope Paul Ryan will come in and clean house and get rid of Obamacare. You want to talk about ridiculous? These Republicans telling us they're going to get in there, they're going to clean house, and they will remove Obamacare. We will do it, vote for me, and I'll handle business. And you just made the new, about to be Speaker of the House, his top guy is this David Hope, whatever you want to call him, who helped lobby for Obamacare. How ironic is that? What are the chances that we'll get rid of Obamacare under his leadership of the House? Just this year, for instance, he helped Ford Motor Company lobby in support of the Trans-Pacific Pacific Partnership, a controversial trade agreement that faces mounting opposition. Yeah, because it's going to throw more American jobs overseas to cheap slave labor. You're damn right, there's opposition. In the past, he has been registered to work on implementation issues for the Affordable Care Act in support of President Obama's stimulus program and to help pass immigration reform, or also known as to you as allow illegal immigrants to come in and get amnesty. And those who are here absolutely get amnesty. In 2009, he also helped the Chamber and the U.S. Telecom Association lobby in support of the stimulus. After the program was signed into law, he continued helping firms seeking stimulus funding, including BNSF, AT&T, and Verizon. The same ones who are handing over hand and fist your private information to the NSA without a peep of objection. While outright opposition to the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, has become a litmus test in Republican primary elections, he has taken a more proactive approach as a lobbyist for various healthcare interests. He worked on behalf of Virtua Health, a New Jersey company that serves Medicaid patients, on ACA implementation, Affordable Care Act implementation. The AARP, one of the largest groups to help press for passage of Obamacare, was represented during and after the health reform debate by QGA when he was president of the firm. Like many lobbyists, he's moved back and forth between government, think tanks, and K Street. He worked for a number of Republican lawmakers, including former Senator Trent Lott, before taking his first lobby job at Quinn Gillespie Associates in 2005. He returned to the Hill, work for Senator John Kyle in 2011, before leaving again for the lobbying industry in 2013. Thanks, he says on Silver Doctors, thanks for playing, suckers. For related articles, see the following, and whatever, just some related stuff. 7 thoughts or comments on Paul Ryan, this article. None of these MF in politicians is worth a crap. All are criminals and consort with criminals. Dems, Repubs, none are worth the gunpowder to blow them to hell. Next one. It's a shame we don't have the option here to upvote comments. Yours is dead on target. Next one. Yeah, I told you, didn't I? No net difference. Next person says, that's why if you don't vote for Libertarian, you're a fool who is incapable of learning. And someone comments to him, problem is doing so gives the other party in office on a platter. Used to think that was bad until I realized that both parties are the other party. If the Repubs don't put Carson Cruz Trump on, I'm gone. The Libertarians are more conservative in most important issues than the Repubs. Well, I've got a better one, especially for the comment about, if you don't vote for Libertarian or whatever. If you vote and it doesn't count, then what? I've got a more important, pressing question that is of grave importance, as a matter of fact. If the votes don't count anyways, then what? I was just talking to my boss today. And we talked for just briefly. He's like, I could have swore, basically, not word for word, but Trump has been killing it in all the polls and people showing everything else. He says, I go to CNN, I think it was on CNN or maybe it was Fox News. And all of a sudden, Carson's edging him out. And I said, there's not a chance in hell that that's even happening. Do you see the turnout of people behind Trump? That's all you have to see. If there's a whole bunch of people in line, vendors, food vendors, all selling burgers and hot dogs, and they've been open for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks now, and you roll up here and you notice Every day for the past 2 weeks that you've been driving by with your own two eyes looking over at these 5 food vendors, number 5 has a landslide victory of customers. No one's even close. Do you have to turn on CNN or Fox News or MSN? We've got a Gallup poll. We've got our own internal poll. We've got this poll. We've got that poll. Ben Carson is now edging up to... Oh, and Hillary Clinton is now edging up to Bozo. And Bozo, they are tied neck and neck in this state. And she's actually ahead of him over... It's made for TV. It's entertainment. The problem is, it's deadly serious. So if your votes don't count, and they tell you in front of your face, these are who the people that are winning, and everybody knows there ain't a chance in hell that that's true, everyone's going to come to the conclusion, now wait a minute, I've been lied to my whole life. I used to believe the news. I used to believe Fox News. I thought they were the other side of CNN. I just found out that they're not. So they're like CNN and MSNBC. Literally, they're all the same now. Which means they've been lying all these years. And I bought into that. Right? Everybody has bought into it in previous times. We thought that, what the numbers they gave us were right. So I honestly, once I saw that person, I had to vote for the lesser of two evils. Oh, favorite political line of all time. The lesser of two evils. Can you imagine if Satan had a face and the devil were two different entities, right? And we would look at those two and say, that's the devil. Yep, that's Satan. I mean, everybody knows this, right? Let's just pretend that that's the case. And you're ready to go vote, and you find out they pull a Nancy Pelosi on you and say, we're not going to show you who the two choices. You have a choice in America. This is a democracy, but there's two choices only. We're not going to show you who the choice is until you get ready to cast your vote, and then we'll tell you. Oh, surprises. I like surprises. Okay. Who is it? Pull back the curtain. Devil over there. Satan. Okay, where's the candidate? The candidates. That's them. Nancy. Yeah, that's them. You guys psyched? Nancy, that's the devil there and Satan over here. I know. That's the Republican. That's the Democrat. Have fun. Everybody, we got to get together as sheeple. Who are we going to vote? Well, I used to be a Republican, but I might switch and I might become a Democrat because that is the devil and this guy's Satan. Yeah, but Satan's more powerful than the devil. No. Devil's more powerful than Satan. Then we argue amongst ourselves. We argue. No, you got it wrong. I got it right. No, we got to get lesser of two evils. Which one's the lesser? Well, a new Gallup poll has shown that the Republican devil is slightly less evil than the Satan. Well, damn it. I know who I'm going to vote for. I got to vote for the lesser of two evils. I don't want the most evil in here. What in the hell? Where am I what planet am I on? Is that what voting is? Is that what a democracy is? Is that what this a country is? The lesser of two evils? Who the hell made this up? And then you talk to your neighbors or someone, you can't vote for them. That's the guy. I know he's not the greatest, but he's the lesser. And then we start repeating it. Where the hell did you hear? Who in the hell is anyone that ever told me that? In my personal family life, where in the hell did you make that term up? And when we had a chat sometime years ago about the first term of Obama and the second term of Obama, well, no, we can't vote for you, lesser two evils. Where did you hear that from? It's not in the dictionary. You heard it on the news. The mainstream or the lamestream media gave that to you. So then you could repeat it to everybody else. And remember when Ron Paul was running? Oh, he's unelectable. He's not electable. Any discussion you got in with anybody about Ron Paul, what was the first thing? He's not electable. Like that's their brain, their smarts, their educated opinion. They're like, he's not electable. You dipshit. You got that off the news. You're spewing cartoon character nonsense to the rest of us informed people. The good news is it wasn't your fault. You can't blame yourself because you've been lied to pretty much your whole life. And when all this has been the truth to you for all these years, it's very hard to listen to anything else tell you that that truth you've encompassed for 50 years, 40 years, 30 years, however old you are, isn't actually the truth. And there's an interesting thing, I actually did a video on this a long time ago about the truth and why people cannot accept the real truth. And I used to use things like 9/11 being an inside job as an example in this. And it goes like this. Matter of fact, I would like to quote it hand for hand because it was an excellent quote. Let me see how I can search for this. The truth becomes your matrix. That was I think the word. Truth becomes your matrix. The first time it becomes the truth or matrix. Come on. Okay, this might be it. From 2008, April 3rd. This might be it. Stand by. This is a really good thing if this is it. Okay, I think this is it. This is... I almost feel like I want to do another video on this, but I can't. Let me just get to the point here. By Alan Stang, April 3rd, 2008, newswithviews.com. Again and again in these columns, I have respectfully reminded you that the main reason this... And again, 2008, we're in 16, about to be 16. So put that into perspective, what you've seen since this man wrote this article and what he had seen at that time to make him write at that time and now where we are today. Just keep that in mind. Again and again in these columns, I have respectfully reminded you that the main reason this country is now on its knees is the communist government schools. We could not have arrived at the end of the plank had not those schools cooked our brains from the beginning. The communist media, left and right, from the communist broadcasting system and the communist news network to Loopy Laura and Limbag, would not be enough. It could not have been done without the communist schools. That is why the schools want ever younger victims. Consider that the most important time you hear about something is the first time. Because the first time you have nothing to compare it to. You can't criticize it. You can't evaluate it. So what you hear the first time sinks into your mind and becomes the matrix, if you will. The mold, okay? It becomes true. From then on, everything you hear about on that particular subject is filtered through that matrix, and you have no way of knowing if that matrix is faulty, because the first time you heard about it, it became the truth. It is the founding truthfulness, if you will, in your being. From then on, you will reject the truth because it will sound alien compared to what you know. So it all depends on who gets there first. If the lie gets there first, that becomes the truth. And then when the truth comes after that, I don't believe it because this was the truth for me. It's pretty amazing if you think about this. So it all depends on who gets there first. If I am 40 or 50 or whatever years old, and you tell me something that I don't know, I compare it to what I do know. If I am 5 years old, I believe whatever the nice lady my parents parks me with says. My parents park me at school, and the school tells me that's the truth. If the only thing I hear for the next 13 years is what she says, if I never hear anything else, I regard anything contradictory as crazy, absurd. I've known this. Everybody knows that it's 13 years. Get out of my face. Go away with your tinfoil hat. Thus, if I have heard for 13 years, or 17 years, if I go to the college, that the white man is responsible for every problem from asthma to xenophobia, and that anyone who says anything else is a racist, I tend to believe it when you show up and say that. If the only thing I've ever heard is that Lincoln was sent by God to save the Union and free the slaves, I consider you a nut when you say Lincoln was our first communist president, that he destroyed the Union, and that he wanted to send the nation's blacks back to Africa. The same thing applies to any assertion that the federal government is not here to help you, that the Fed arranged the Great Depression, that FDR himself arranged Pearl Harbor, that federal welfare destroyed the black family, that Washington D.C. colluded in 9/11, and on and on and on. Of course, these things are intangibles. You can't see the Great Depression. You must dig out the real history to see what really happened. The real brainwashing hits when you are told that the truth is different from what you see every day, such as like when you're told that men and women are the same, except that women should run things and that sodomite buggery is normal. The purpose of the communist media is to reinforce what you have been told in case, despite these elaborate precautions, you accidentally blunder or trip over and fall into the truth. The Germans called what we are talking about the zeitgeist, the spirit of time, but that doesn't quite do the trick. For what of something better, I have elected to call it the abasement matrix. We don't know it is there, but everything we experience, everything we do, is filtered through it, and it is the reason we are losing. It answers the question of how the conspiracy for world government gets away with such outrages, every one more egregious than the other. The reason is we allow it. We allow it, and we even applaud it. Again, the obvious solution to all of this is to remove your kids from the communist government schools. You still can do this, and as soon as you do it, you will experience the thrill of an enormous victory. You have just saved another victim from the monster. You are a 21st century Scarlet Pimpernel. As long as you leave a child in the clutches of the monster, anything you think you are doing to fight it is an ineffectual joke. Yes, I know it can be difficult. We homeschooled all 5, and as I write currently, not one of them is in jail. The reason as all this again comes to mind is that as the Republican National Convention approaches, keeping in mind this was 2008, patriots are being told, as usual, how to behave. Make nice, we are told. Play fair. No cheating. Honor. Don't try to change the rules. Do as you're told our way. Elect Republicans. Any disunity could help Hillary and Hussein. And by the way, Hussein being Barack Hussein Obama, I think who you're referring to. And by the way, there is no such candidate as Dr. Ron Paul. No such candidate, Paul? Who is that? Except the people, the people who tell us this. These are the same people who changed the rules to steal the 1952 nomination for Eisenhower from Taft. Robert Taft was Mr. Republican, while Eisenhower only a few months earlier had confirmed that he was not a Democrat. They are the same people. Putative Republicans who sabotaged Barry Goldwater in '64, who routinely squelch any conservative eruption. Here is an ethical question. If a guy steps out of an alley and sticks his gun to your ribs, do ethics require you to treat him fairly? Here's another. You are downstairs in the living room reading scripture when someone breaks in and you realize he is the same man you just saw on television described as an escaped serial rapist. The man asks where your daughter is and she is upstairs. What do you tell him? The answer is that, holding the Bible in both hands, you lie. You lie to him. You say your daughter is visiting her grandmother in some other city. You took her to the airport. You just got back. She won't return for a couple of weeks, but he's welcome to wait. You keep lying, and if you get the chance, you rack the old widowmaker in the corner and blow him away. Why do you do that? One of the things the Founding Fathers explained is that the system of government they were leaving us could only work among a people mature enough, responsible enough to obey the rules, the Christian rules. Immature, irresponsible people cancel the rules. If they do that, the mature, responsible people who remain no longer are required to obey. Well, what kind of people are we talking about? What kind of people run the Republican Party? And again, I could say the same question about the Democratic Party. It means nothing. So just, who cares when I use that word in this article? It means nothing. First, remember that they are the same kind of people who run the Democrats. They are part of the same totalitarian cabal at top. They are different in the same way Hugo Chavez, Fidel Castro, Al Capone, Mao, and Meyer Lansky were different. I am not talking about the people you see at the local Republican club. I'm talking about the people you don't see, or see only at a distance, or on television, at the very, very top. What have these people done? They have blithely tricked us into one war after another for more than a century, starting with Lincoln's Communist War to destroy the Union. They couldn't care less who and how many are killed and maimed on whichever side. Indeed, they routinely finance and support both sides. They keep the wars going as long as they can, because the longer you fight, the more wealth and power they collect. For instance, the more you know about World War I and about the Jejun European rulers who fomented it, the more you realize that Washington's intervention was one of the most preposterous decisions ever made. The conspirators created Soviet Russia, Hitler Germany, China, Castro Cuba, and Iran. We are getting ready, and the Iran we are getting ready to bomb, he says. Without their intervention, none of these things would ever have amounted to more than historical footnotes at the bottom of a page. They extort and swindle and regulate and socialize to collect more wealth and more power. It was Alan Greenscum's Fed that got us into the present financial mess. Now, El Presidente George W. Bush, again back in this particular time, proposes solving the mess by giving the Fed even more power, and Greenscum, still not in jail, is telling Middle East sheiks to dump the dollar in favor of the euro. If you go to any U.S. Marine base, you will hear the name of Smedley Butler. There, Butler is as close to divine as a man can get without being God himself. And I already told you about old Smedley. I love Smedley. General Butler was awarded not one, but 2 medals of honor. Most Marines don't know that Butler later wrote a book called War is a Racket, in which he explained his new understanding that Washington, D.C. had sent his beloved Marines around the world on behalf of huge international corporations. Hugh Hewitt is a radio neocon. Recently thinking of that book, Blewett actually said that General Butler became un-American. Wouldn't you love to hear him say that at Pendleton? Americanism to Hugh Blewett means militarism, means making imperial war on the world, poking our nose in everyone else's business abroad, and basically regimentation at home. The Monsanto monster is poisoning your food. Big Pharma has almost succeeded in making vitamins illegal in preparation for the discontent to come. Washington is imposing a fascist dictatorship here, ruled by Monster Corporation, complete with concentration camps that will drive the torturers in Orwell's 1984 livid with jealousy, furious that they did not have today's technology that makes it possible. Soon you will need a real ID to go to the ladies' room while illegal aliens roam the nation unchecked. Remember that Bush is running the invasion. Again, 2008. So again, what kind of people are we talking about? They are psychopaths. A psychopath is distinguished from normal people in that he or she has no moral sense and no conscience. A psychopath is incapable of experiencing embarrassment or shame. You will never have met one because they are only a handful, and they're only a handful. If there were any more than a few, civilization would be impossible. It would be replaced by a landscape ruled by ravaging wolves. They are paradoxically brilliant and immensely attractive, magnetic personalities. The lawmen tell us we shall never know how many women utterly charming Ted Bundy killed. They nailed him for some 30, but women disappear all the time and are never seen again. Undoubtedly, he did some of those, but he fried in the electric chair, still not talking. Stalin is reputed to have said, maybe apocryphally, that the greatest joy in life is befriending a man until he trusts you completely, and then sticking a knife in his ribs. Now look at Hillary Clinton. Not at all in the spirit of partisanship. She is just a recent good example. She lies all the time, even when she doesn't need to. She is a compulsive liar. You can't even believe her name. She lied about it, saying she was named for Sir Edmund Hillary. Remember? Recently, she clearly remembered running for cover under intense sniper fire in the Balkans, where rapist-in-chief Bill sent her because he always sent the first feminoid where the danger was greatest. You and I wouldn't tell such a whopper to start with. But if we had, we would be mortified when caught, eaten up with shame. Remember the first feminoid's response when this latest lie was exposed? This time on videotape by the correspondent who was there? Yeah, I misspoke. You caught me. Haha, well, on to the next prevarication. Isn't politics fun? There's a little bit more to this. I remember reading this years ago, and that whole thing about the truth and how it becomes your matrix when you first realize it, and anything that comes later, you fight against it. That color blue you think's behind my screen, listen, it's really green. Everybody knows it's blue. Come on. Who is this moron? Get out of my face. That's how absurd that is. I'm telling you now, this screen is green. This screen behind me is green. No, it's not. It's blue. It's blue. Well, I can easily show you that it's actually green. Give me 1 second. Just for purposes here. If I can remember where the heck this is at. Right here. Color. Take off the chroma key. Oh my god. Holy cow, the truth just punched you in the face. It's actually green, right? Just an example. Assuming you actually saw that, I'm pretty sure it'll come through on the video. That's why it's so hard to wake up, even for yourself. Think about it. Think about the first time you maybe heard something. It's so hard to wake up. But once you do, and once that one defining moment tells you, bang, okay, I was lied to on that, and now I accept it. And now I'm kind of mad about it, actually. I'm kind of pissed off. Your brain does what all human brains do. What else have I been lied about? I wonder what else this son of a gun did, or whatever I found. And you all of a sudden go down that damn rabbit hole, and you end up wishing at some point, man, as crazy as this stuff is, I almost wonder if I should have ever woken up. Give me the blue pill and let me go back to sleep, because things were much better when I didn't know these other things. However, should this change and all of us not happen, this waking up not happen, can you imagine the devastation that's still going to occur, and us not even kind of being prepared for it, and just, oh my God, it happens, and no one knows what to do about it and everything else. At least when it happens, so many people are starting to wake up, and so much information has been blasted around the internet that the club's going to have a real hard time, I believe, convincing everybody, let's go to war again, let's do this again, or let's trust us, let's do the one world government system. You know, trust us. We're your best, you're your closest pal. I don't think so. But that's it for this video. Take care.